Today is May 8th, and this is an end of the day SPY recap. And today we end up with an inside bar. Stayed within yesterday's high and low, and a little bit of a red bias to it, but nevertheless just kind of a pause bar after this move up last week towards the end of the week. So on the weekly chart, we discussed how we broadened out last week and, taking out the highs of the previous week, the lows, and then we came right back to the middle. We're in this range here. So you can see on the daily chart, if you space it out, we're right in the middle of this range, and we're kind of anticipating things working back up towards the highs again after failing at the lows. But we also know we're in this choppy range and anything could happen. As much as I'd love to call these two hammer bars that should, since they met, good support down here in buying, that guarantees or high probability that we're going higher. This is not really the type of bars that say that. If anything, it just shows indecision and back and forth and choppiness at the moment. So anyway, that's where we are now. In terms of today, how structure unfolded. First of all, between the blue lines was the pre-market range. We were opening up near the middle of that range. Again, kind of expecting the highs to be tested at some point, just because you had the green day from yesterday. But we started out lower. So I shot a kind of a morning update video showing how this trade right here by selling immediately was just to take out these pre-market lows, because you're still way above the halfway point of the prior day. So your bias is still up in general. And if you see a sell signal early in between the range, you're looking to take out kind of those stops. Then it reversed, it came up. I shot a video. I explained how then, given that since I look for, my methodology, the consistent way I look at this structure is for two pushes up or down. If you're kind of in an up environment, you get one push down, and then the second push down kind of fails to reach, the intraday low and set up a nice directional day, then this becomes a buy opportunity here at the orange line on this reversal. I actually bought some calls here, and I shot a video after watching it for over an hour how I broke even on the trade. And, at that point, I wasn't sure what really would happen. And if you look at the market, it did what what algorithms do in these choppy environments. We're in the middle of a big range. The day itself is kind of choppy. We got one move down, but never really tested that. We started towards that low, but never really took it out. So at this point, you're chopping, on the day with the down bias, and yet the up bias is in the big picture. So it's all confusing. And right here, the market decides to take out this liquidity up top. Then it comes to take out this liquidity down here with another move down and taking out stops. Then it goes up again, and it comes back and takes out the high of the day, which was you got to figure anyone who goes short, they put stops up there, and then it backs off a little bit. So it did kind of work from this first move down. It did eventually work its way up, you could see, but it was very choppy and tricky to read, and that happens sometimes. So anyway, let's just get back to it. We have an inside day, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. If we break to the upside, we still have these two targets here. I think a very high probability to be taken out, and even this third, and then that turns the monthly chart green if we hit the yellow line, and we have the target up here, at the green line eventually if we start up. An ideal pattern here, if it develops, would be an inside day, a break to the downside that fails to reach this target, and then has a kind of a 1, 2 down, 2 up on Wednesday. If that ever develops, kind of a failure down day tomorrow, Wednesday could be, and for the rest of the week, can be a great buy trade. Or you could fail tomorrow on the upside. Inside bars, I tend to look for failures a lot, like they go up and then they come back through the range in some form. So we'll see what happens tomorrow, but we're still biased to the upside. We'll see if price action maybe gives us an opportunity to start this week up and kind of follow through on this reversal that took place towards the end of last week. But today, it was a little tricky, and actually, final point, even though the SPY itself didn't give you, easy trading or anything that worthwhile, there were a lot of stocks with the up bias, like Lilly. I bought that this morning, and that had a very nice morning move. Netflix had a very nice morning move. If you were trading Nvidia, for example, this paused for 4 or 5 bars, and then this breakout was a very nice move. So there were a bunch of stocks once you're kind of looking around the board to trade. But today, for the market as a whole, it was for many of the stocks just kind of choppy. So let's see where we go tomorrow. Bias still up until proven otherwise, but let price action lead the way.